kneecaps. You hit the nail on the head there, buddy. Let's jump right into it. So, and listen, in no way, shape, or form am I, celebrating injuries. Does it mean the Lions are gonna hit rock bottom? No, but I'll tell you, man, that uphill climb of repeating in the NFC North, having already lost your OC, you lost your DC, and now you're looking to try to step up and repeat in the North. These injuries are really starting to pile up. First one that came down the stretch here earlier today, Tim, I'm going to try to say the name right. Defensive tackle Levi. I've heard it said about 6 different ways. Uzarike. All right, We're going to say Unzarike is what I heard earlier today on a pod I was listening to, so we'll go with that. Underwent ACL surgery and will miss the entire 2025 NFL season per head coach Dan Campbell. Obviously, it was Ari Mirov that put that tweet out there. Now, if you're wondering how good is Unzarike, he's pretty darn good, man. Matter of fact, why don't we just go next to the PFF grades here real quick just to kind of show you what they're missing now, Tim, in terms of defensive linemen, man. And this is starting to get rough. You guys know earlier, or I should say later last year in the season, you had Aleem, I think is how you say it, McNeil, arguably their best interior defensive lineman, right? He was the 9th highest graded defensive tackle amongst all defensive linemen in the entire National Football League, had a 79.6. He's going to be out, from what I'm hearing, is probably going to be somewhere in November. So similar to the Christian Watson time frame there. Now today, Levi Unzarike, obviously he was the 23rd highest graded defensive lineman. So Tim, what you've got here, man, is 2 interior guys on this defensive front for the Detroit Lions that have already lost their defensive coordinator, going obviously to be the head coach of the New York Jets, man. This is looking like an uphill battle for the Lions, but you can never rule a good team out, man. This definitely hurts though, for sure.
Absolutely. And like you said, we're not going to be classless like some Lions fans are out there and root for guys to be injured. It's not cool. But I will say it couldn't have happened to a better team. I don't know if that makes any sense. That's about as far as I'm willing to go with it. So you're right. I mean, they're going to have their hands full here. Camp hasn't even gotten kicked off yet. They've got a long list of, like you said, some key positions here, dealing with some, everything from minor to mid-major to major injuries on this Detroit Lions defensive side of the football. So, yeah, if you're a Packer fan, I mean, I call it what it is. It's good news for us. But like you said, man, the good teams and the great teams, they find a way to get through the adversity, and guys step up, right? So if you've got a good football team put together, injuries can make it difficult, but it doesn't mean your season's over before it starts. So we got to keep that in mind too.
Got to be able to overcome the injuries. I mean, the Packers did it the year they won the Super Bowl back in 2010. They were just eviscerated with injuries. I remember that like it was yesterday. But another injury surfaced today as well. Report came out of Detroit Lions training camp as the pups go crazy downstairs. I'm sure that's important. Lions second-year cornerback Enos Rakestraw left practice early and is being evaluated for a chest injury per the team. Now, last I heard, I think it said it was a chest contusion, and it sounded like it wasn't as major as originally thought. So we'll kind of keep up with the timeline there. It's 2-0 for this says in the chat, Tim. Not Tim's guy. This was Tim's guy. You guys,
the one that got away, right?
Yeah.
Now, it was Rakestraw last year, and this year it was Jaden Higgins, right? The ones that got away.
Yeah, and here with Rakestraw, to be completely upfront, PFF isn't everything. PFF had him graded out in the 40s as a rookie. Does that mean he's going to be a bad pro? No. Just means he got off to a slow start in terms of PFF, right? So
yeah, and he was banged up last year too, correct? I believe he dealt with some injuries last year too. I don't think he played a full season.
Yeah, he may have. I can't remember, to be quite honest with you. I just remember him getting real grabby. I remember that being a talking point. Was he had a lot of penalties, a lot of defensive holding, pass interference, things like that. So, but nonetheless, man, it's a starting corner. There's no two ways about that. So you lose a starting corner, it is kind of a big deal. Moving along here, Mizzou DB liked him also. There was a lot of people. Like I said, Tim was leading the charge, but there was a lot of folks that liked Rakestraw. So the Detroit Lions injuries up to this point, all right? And this was put out by Play Fantasy Plus over on X. Levi Onwuzurike, Aleem McNeil, Khalil Dorsey, Miles Frazier, Mekhi Wingo, Taylor Decker, Josh Paschal, Amick Robertson, Marcus Davenport, Jack Campbell, Natane Muti, and training camp's just getting underway. So they've got a huge list. You guys remember seeing our list yesterday, right? And I know some Packer fans are a little bit kind of freaked out, like, oh man, the injury bug's already got us. This is what the injury bug looks like right here. I think we're going to be just fine. And who knows, man, a good majority of these players will probably be back in time for the season for the Detroit Lions. But, Tim, these are piling up, man. You're seeing some big names there. Jack Campbell, Marcus Davenport. Like we said, they're two best interior defensive linemen. Mekhi Wingo, not sure how he's been grading out here lately, but was a pretty good football player. I think Decker is on the offensive line as well. So, it's starting to pile up for Detroit for sure.
Yeah, they better hope Aiden Hutchinson's ahead of schedule, right? I mean, they're going to need him more than ever, really. And but a lot of times this early, right? We're just getting into camp. A lot of this could be precautionary too. Maybe they're just they want to hold these guys out for a week or two, rather than having them go out there during camp and make something worse. But this does not look good, not just for Detroit, but any football team in this type of situation. This many guys banged up, it's not good.
And again, this was as of 9:23 a.m. Eastern time earlier this morning. So there may have been more information come out. You guys go check that and see. But again, a lot of injuries the Detroit Lions are dealing with. Now let's shift gears to the Chicago Bears in the North. And they had an injury here. It looks like Bears placed cornerback Jalen Johnson and 3 others on active/non-football injury list. Now, typically the non-football injury list, it can be a multitude of things. Most of the time, more times than not, it's not serious. But nonetheless, Jalen Johnson, one of their best corners, I think he led them in interceptions 2 years ago. And listen, I'm not going to pile on too hard here with Jalen Johnson. I'm pretty sure, was that not the corner that prayed over Christian Watson when he tore the ACL?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
So you hate to see the good guys go. You hate to see anybody go down with an injury, but the good guys, obviously, I'm rooting against him every Sunday he plays football. Don't take this the wrong way, but it was very, very classy move seeing him pray over Christian like that.
Absolutely. You love to see that. And, a lot of the negative stuff seems to get highlighted a lot these days, but it's important to remember that there's a lot of that in the league, a lot of positivity. A lot of dudes are, playing for each other, even your opponent out there. You guys are warriors on the field, and it's a respect thing. And I think it was a rare bit of class there from a Chicago Bear. We'll take that. Maybe that'll be contagious, and we'll find some class with some of our other division rivals, but I won't hold my breath. But the NFI list is tricky too this time of year, right, Clay? I mean, you can't tell me every one of these names on all these teams that they're all actually hurt, right? I mean, sometimes you park a guy on the NFI list till you sort other things out, Right. I won't get too speculative, but I think you get where I'm going with that.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it, man. That's the old Bill Belichick trick too. When you're trying to inflate the numbers a little bit, get some extra bodies in for physicals, things like that. All of a sudden, players stub a toe or something. They're on a list to not top an active spot. But 2-0 for this says breaking news: the entire Bears roster is injured. Our Bears roster is injured by being on the Bears roster. So there you go.
You know what probably injured them is they showed up day one and they heard,
"Get ready to go."
That would have injured me. I think I'd have been like, all right, let's go ahead and demand a trade. This dude's a little bit weird. Zach Pearson at Zach_Pearson over on X said the Bears have placed the following players on active/non-football injury list. This was as of yesterday. Okay, so DB Jalen Johnson, we talked about, quarterback Case Keenum, wide receiver Jade Walker, and running back Ian Wheeler. So they got a much smaller list, obviously, than some of the names that are being mentioned for the Detroit Lions. And again, I didn't see anything on the Minnesota Vikings. You guys know J.J. McCarthy is healthy, their new starting quarterback, who was a rookie last year, didn't get to practice with the team at all because he got hurt preseason, if I remember correctly, I think during training camp. So they're trying to work that out with a new starting quarterback, obviously with the departure of Sam Darnold going to, I believe it was Seattle, if I remember correctly. So Minnesota seems to be somewhat, pretty healthy, but they're dealing with that new quarterback. So everybody's got their own issues. The Packers, we got our issues. Our number one receiver in Christian Watson, he's going to be out till, late October, early November, somewhere around that time frame. Everybody's dealing with something. But it seems like it's gotten a hold of the Lions a little bit harder than everybody else. Tim, you got anything else to add to the NFC North, kind of around the North real quick?
Thinking about the Vikings, right? KLC had some changes with his staff as well, correct? They've got a few new faces, I believe, this year.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I should probably know that answer, but I'm not 100% sure. I mean, everybody usually has some kind of turnover, right?
Yeah.
It's just rare that you lose your OC and your DC like Detroit did. I mean, you talk to Lions fans like, oh, it ain't no big deal, and I'm going, man, I don't know if I was a Packer fan, right, and we had lost, an OC and a DC at the same time, we've replaced offensive coordinators, right? We've done that time and time again, it seems like. But defensive coordinators, it's more of replacing them to upgrade, right?
Yeah.
In this case, it's kind of like, all right, you promote from within, I believe, for both positions. No, offensively, I think they promoted from within. Defensively, they went and got, I want to say it was Dennis Allen. I could be wrong there. But, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know about the Vikings staff turnover, to be honest with you. So, all right. There we go.
I don't pay too much attention either. So, I don't blame you. I don't want to voluntarily go to that website, right?
Oh,